Hi, Dr. McCorkle. It's Tabitha. I just wanted to run through some of these revisions that I made for the critique part of the portfolio. And I'll go ahead and get started with revision one. Um, the next button on the home page, I actually decided to keep that because I just felt like, if somebody's reading the whole way through the screen, it's just nice to have that to be able to click on at the bottom instead of going all the way back to the top and click About Me. So I thought it was helpful to actually keep that since I added a little bit more content to the home page. Um, Each page link opened in a new tab was part of the critique, and I did go in and change the settings. And so if you click on, the different tabs at the top, it's staying all within the same tab. However, I did read and research a little bit about the buttons and found that, if you use the buttons, it will, no matter what, open a new tab. So that was something interesting that I found. And it has something to do with adding the link versus just moving between the pages. This consider making the page headers all consistent. I chose to keep them the same if they're referring to the picture or the banner at the top, and I just feel like that it just shows a little bit of my personality, and I kind of really like it. I think it adds a little bit of spark to the portfolio itself without, with keeping it professional. So I kept that. Immersed in, I did change that language, and I changed it on the About Me page, and it's right here. I was immersed in Texas A&M University. The next thing, the rubric, I'll talk about that in a little bit. I'll come back to that. There was a lot of concern about how much personal information I had on my homepage, and so I decided to go ahead and delete a lot of that, and I just kept my first and last name and my email address, and I also just flip back here real quick. I also changed, because of the "is it too much" comment, I also took your advice, went ahead and removed that information, but I also moved my picture down. It used to be in the center here with information on both sides of it, and I moved it down, put a little blurb in there, so I took your suggestion. Plus then I went ahead and added the introduction to my portfolio down here, and so I thought that was a very nice touch to the home page, and I really feel like it made the home page a lot stronger, so I definitely appreciate the feedback on that. As far as having a bulleted list of LMS experience regarding the first, 30 seconds of, you know, somebody reading my page, I just really felt like it was stronger to keep an actual tab at the top with skills. If I'm an employer looking at somebody's portfolio, to me, it's easier if I can just click on that tab at the top and it's going to be right there for me, instead of trying to scan through different information to find it. So I kept it the same way. I may consider moving it, whenever I move to hopefully a platform where I can have my own domain at some point soon. So I may look into changing at that time, but we'll see. This one was reduce the amount of text and add some white space or free space, and this was on the project screen or page, the project samples page, and I did make a little bit. I did rearrange it a little bit. As you can see, I did put some more white space in there a little bit. But I thought it was important to also, make sure that the projects were separated, and that's why I put the little dividers in there as well. Um, so revision 2, masking their email address. This was a fun one actually, and this again is your feedback, Dr. McCorkle, as far as how should I do my references. I felt like it was important to keep them, but your recommendation of masking them a little bit. So what I did was I went ahead and took an image, and then made that a PDF, and then actually you can click on that link and here it is. So it still looks the same, which I was really happy with the way that it turned out. So yeah, I took your advice on that. I may add some, maybe a few words or at least a couple sentences in here somewhere just to kind of explain references and maybe what they mean to me, or maybe a little bit more about each person. I'm not 100%, but I do feel like it's kind of plain and I might need to do something with it. So I'll look into that. I would recommend using a host or platform. Again, I plan to do that. It's just right now I don't have the bandwidth to get it done. But as soon as I do get it done, I will definitely be sending you the link to that because I'm sure it'll be exciting for me and probably exciting for you as well. Revision 3, table of contents. This was a big one for me. I kind of felt like it was important, but when I rearranged my home page, I was really, really happy with the way that it looked without the table of contents. And it's not like these tabs are so ridiculously far away that it was making a big difference if I put, table of contents here. It just looked a little bit disconnected. So I kept it out, or actually I removed it. So that's kind of the story behind the table of the contents. Examples of more technology was another critique. I just don't, simply put, I just don't have the examples to include. So as I get more, I'll be updating, and I can remove some of those, maybe the flyers, or, maybe just get more updated versions of examples of technology in there. Revision 4. Let me see, you may consider replacing your images. So this one was mostly about the resolution on images, to make sure it looks good. So I did change, and this would be in reference to, I think, my Artifact 1, which was this Student Success Help Desk flyer. And as you can see, I did change the image on that. So I actually changed the image on the other one as well, right here. So I did make that change. This one, somebody commented and just said, maybe it's not, maybe the flyer isn't a piece of instructional design work. I mean, it just goes back to I just don't have enough, I don't have enough work to put in this portfolio yet, but I will work on it. The flyers, and there was a lot in there about, changing different things on the flyers. Unfortunately, it's something that I can't do right now because the flyers have already gone through multiple levels of approval on campus, and once they're approved, there's really no changing them. But I will keep all of these things in mind as I move forward, and I'm sure I'll be creating more. And probably even over the summer, I'll be creating more. So I'm anxious to see what they might look like or how much they will improve given what I know now and all this great critique that I've gotten. So revision 5 is strengthen the narrative. So basically everybody's saying that I need some more information, particularly like how the flyer was developed, and what maybe platforms or technology did I use to create the projects. So I went in and on the project page, I went ahead and added um, more information, which included my role, my responsibilities, you know, the tools I used, the target audience, and made sure I had a summary in there too of the projects. And it's like that, it's consistently like that with all of them. So I try to keep everything as consistent as possible. Those bottom two, I just haven't had the bandwidth to get those, get narratives for those, but I will be working on that. Let me see, what else was there? This does the help involve staff and faculty? This is in regards to Artifact One, and it's just too complicated to put on one flyer. I do have multiple documents that I created, and this is addressed in one of those other ones. The rest of this is consider adding titles at the top. I did actually go back and add titles at the top right here on each one. And I mean, to me, I think this was already the title, but I did go in and specifically add the title because, you know, maybe it is important, and I think it does look a little bit better with it. In your flyer, you might also list some problems you solved. I think that's really important, and that'll be part of a future project for me because I do really highlight problems. With us being a help desk, our leadership definitely wants that. So I will be including that. Revision 6, changing the orientation and landscape. Oh yes, look how much nicer this app evaluation rubric looks. I was excited when I took all the color away. It really made it pop. I did bold the title and the column headings, and then the total score at the bottom just to make that stand out just a touch. And I think it looks 100% better. I made it into a PDF so you can pop it out, you can print it, and you can use it from here. I did change all the fonts, as you can see. It's all the same now. More information needed on how the flyer was developed. That's something that kind of, you know, you and I had agreed like there is enough because it's a simple flyer, and it was put there basically just to you know, just to show my ability to create a flyer. That's really all that is. And so what are your thoughts? Did not explain background. Again, it's just all pretty much the same, like what was my role. So that's that. The other thing that I just wanted to address very quickly is I did add the Articulate Rise e-learning program here. And so this was just the layout of our part of the module. And I give the executive summary along with background information. And then I added our content doc because I thought it was really important to put that on there to kind of see the progression of how this came about. And then I added our storyboard slides. So that was really cool. And I also kind of put a little blurb underneath each one just to kind of explain, but then I also did a video walkthrough of just my part, so the content that I actually created. So thank you, Dr. McCorkle. This has been a wonderful class. I've enjoyed every single minute of it, and I look forward to taking your class over the summer and again in the fall, hopefully. Thank you.